Hi guys! Welcome na naman sa aming video. At kung kayo ay bago pa lang sa aming channel, please don't forget to subscribe at pakihit na rin po yung bell dyan sa baba. Pasensya na po kay Brady. Ayan. At pasensya na rin po sa buhok ko. So yun nga guys. So kanina nagpunta kami dyan sa may Minnesota State Fairground kasi mga 2 to 3 minutes lang naman siya mula dito sa bahay. 2 to 3 minute drive. So, yun nga guys, kasi dito sa US may tinatawag silang state fair. So, kada state meron silang 2 weeks na fair, ganyan. So, yung 2 weeks na yon, para siyang, kumbaga sa Pilipinas, 2 linggong fiesta, guys. So, dun sa state fair, para siyang isang malaking amusement park. May mga games, ganun, may mga rides, ganun, may mga food truck. So, every year yan, punong-puno lagi ang state fair. So, tara, samahan nyo kami. Andito po yung video, panoorin natin.
Hi guys, welcome to our channel. We did a quick video this last weekend when we were walking around the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. It's one of our favorite things to do in the summertime. It's a big time Minnesota get together that they do in August, the end of August and the beginning of September every year. We've had a lot of fun. They recently opened it up for people to go walking and safely social distance themselves. So we've been taking advantage of that, but we took some video of the fairgrounds so people that don't live in Minnesota can kind of see how big it is and some of the stuff they offer. But yeah, it's the second biggest state fair in the country behind Texas. That place, this right here is the International Bazaar. It's an area where they set up all kinds of different stands and they sell exotic stuff from all over the country. Then before it was Shanghai Henry's, it's exotic food and beer and all that. That center, oh, right there's the haunted house. A lot of people, looks like they're doing some work on it, but a lot of people go into that yearly because it changes every year, but they do a really good job. It's about a 10 to 15 minute walk through real monsters jumping out at you, and it's actually pretty scary. I even jumped in there a few times. That's one of the historical buildings. That's where the grounds crew used to stay back in the early 1900s when the fair was going on. Now they use it for registration for the fair and the Agricultural Center. So it's a pretty cool little house. There's Brady. He loves the rooster that they got out front. He likes to see that every time we're there.
What does the rooster say?
But yeah, if you're ever stopping by Minnesota that time of the year and you want to do something cool, check out the Minnesota State Fair. It's really a big deal here in Minnesota. Oh, right there was the Space Needle. We didn't quite get a good glimpse of it though. There's the French fry stand at the State Fair. They actually have 2 of them. Oh my God, those are the best French fries you'll ever eat. Me and my wife make sure we get French fries there every year. The river ride is it's like a boat you sit in and you splash around in this concrete tunnel, and it's just kind of like your average boat ride, but it's pretty fun. It's so weird walking around the fair with no people, because every year it attracts millions of people go to the Minnesota State Fair. That's the inside of the river ride off season. Yeah, it's kind of cool. There's some more of the buildings and stands and all that. This is the DNR Center during the fair. Well, not right there. There's wildlife that runs around in there, different stuff to see. And they actually have a bowl that I think we're going to show you here. Yeah, right here, this bowl here, they fill up with fresh water and put all kinds of fish that you can fish in Minnesota, and they actually let the kids fish for them and they can get prizes and all that. But yeah, they do live fishing in that well right there. Anywhere from panfish to northern pike to walleye. That's one of the DNR buildings where you can get information. And they added this a couple years ago, this big building here. You can go in there and look at all kinds of cool stuff that the DNR does and different animals and all that. They really did a nice job with that building. What else do we got here? Well, those are bathrooms. There's the that right there. The red barn is a reptile center. You go in there and they have all kinds of cool reptile stuff you can do. Oh, it's just information there. But yeah, it's a really fun time. A lot of good food. I mean, when the fair's going on, it's a lot more extravagant than what you see here. I mean, there's no people, none of the smaller stands set up or anything. There's another picture of the DNR building. But all the big time companies in Minnesota have stands here at the fair. You got radio station stands right in there. I don't know what that building's new. I don't remember what that is. But yeah, and some of the food you find at the Minnesota State Fair is on a stick. They're known for food on a stick. They do all kinds of crazy food on a stick. From deep fried candy bars on a stick to all kinds of crazy stuff. That's the famous slide of the State Fair. The yellow slide there. It's called the Giant Slide. It's like $3. They give you a bunny sack and you sit on there with your kid or yourself and you slide down it. And like a lot of these buildings that you see here are just food stands. There's just food everywhere. I mean, it's such a big deal. People build permanent food stands. It's not just tents. And that's the grandstand right there. That's where they do the building in the background where it says State Fair August 27th to whenever. That's where they do all the big time concerts for the Minnesota State Fair. They get, big time names there. All different genres of music, from pop to rock and everything. What is that one? Oh, that's one of me and my wife's favorite spots. We love pinball, and that arcade right there. They have tons of pinball tables, arcade games, and you can win prizes, that kind of thing. But all we do is play pinball in there, so it's just a giant arcade. That blue thing there is like what do you call those? Like a ski lift kind of deal that takes you over the whole fair. It's pretty cool. What else do we got here? There's a couple of the stands. Another radio station. Big fat bacon stand. Another French fry stand right there. And what we're showing you in this video is only about a quarter, maybe a quarter of the State Fair. It's so big we couldn't show you it all in one video. The Butterfly House is a area where they set up all kinds of natural habitats for butterflies, and there's thousands of them that fly around in there, and kids get a net and they can catch them and let them land on them. It's a pretty cool thing too. What's this here? Oh, that's the garden. That's one of our favorite buildings. So there's a bunch of foods in this big building here on the left. There's a bunch of food in there, food stands, beer, and then what their garden's known for, it's that whole building, it's huge, is they do live karaoke every day. So any average Joe that can't sing or thinks they can sing can get up there and pick whatever karaoke song they want to sing and belt it out to hundreds of people, probably more people than they'll ever play for again in their life. But it's absolutely hilarious. That's the garden right there. A couple of years ago when we were there was a lady that got up there and she did an AC/DC song, and she had a few beers obviously throughout the day, and she belted out the last line of the AC/DC song. I can't remember which one it was, and she literally passed out right on the stage. She just collapsed. So everybody got nervous, and the staff ran up there, and she ended up being fine. I think it was obviously the alcohol, but it was actually kind of funny. We're glad she's all right, but it was It was pretty funny. The lady that went up there to check on her grabbed the mic and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, you just never quite know what you're going to see at the Minnesota State Fair." And one of our other favorite places to get food and beer is we're coming up to. It's called the Ballpark Cafe, right up here. It's connected to the garden. It's like the outdoor part of the garden, and they got garlic fries there. They put garlic and cheese on French fries, and they're just delicious. They're known for their garlic fries. But that's it right here. So at the state fair, if you like, bars and drinking beer and eating good food, there's a lot of that there. That's what a lot of the fair is. And like the ballpark here, it's really big, so they got tons of local beers. You got your domestic beers, you got everything. Like there's the craft beer, and there's just tons of windows. And you think, wow, that's big. People line up at all these stands to get food and beer. It's just packed during the state fair. But this place is cool. They put tables and chairs out here, obviously, for the fair. And yeah, but the Ballpark Cafe has been a staple of the fair for a long time. And there's so many other beer gardens and stuff like that closer down to the Midway where they do all the rides and all that. This is kind of off on the outskirts. But I mean, if you when you look around, there's just so many buildings and so much stuff to do. What's that one? That's the Minnesota Vikings building where they sell Minnesota Vikings memorabilia and all that. Pronto Pups. What's a state fair without a Pronto Pup? And that building right there with the blue and white that she kind of passed by quick, that's all Minnesota sports in one building. They got clothes and anything you want to get Minnesota sports. The Hamlin Dining Hall, that had a pretty cool story. So a couple years ago, they were going bankrupt from loss of customers during the state fair and just a decline of people actually going there. But they had a couple organizations pull together and raise money for them. And it was enough to keep them going, and they remodeled their whole building, and now they're doing better than ever. So it was a pretty cool story. It's the Hamlin Dining Hall is put on by the Catholic Church. That's the main entrance of the fair right there. You can see in the background with the blue pillars and the green there. That's the main entrance that comes in on what street is that? I think it's Dan Patch. The state fair is so big, it's got its own streets. Like there you see Cooper, that's Dan Patch. Like I said, this is a very small part of it, just to show you how big. That triangular building right there, we didn't tape that. That's the Space Needle I was talking about in the background. It takes you up and you can see all the cities around. But that triangle building, they do concerts, smaller venue concerts there. They got a beer stand put on by Landon Kugels right next to it. It's a really cool area to listen to music during the state fair. I think this is just a merchandise building right here. That building in the background with the red, that's the Creative Center. That's where they do like baking competitions during the fair and sewing and all the crafty stuff like that. And then they get everybody that does it, they rate their stuff, and they have first, second, third place and this, that, and that, and you can walk through and see all the stuff. A lot of it's baking from what I remember. It's pretty cool, and they win prizes and all that. There's the one and only Irish bar at the Minnesota State Fair, but they did a really nice job with it. It's called O'Gara's, and they got all kinds of Irish beer, Irish food. They do live Irish music inside O'Gara's. They got tables and chairs set up out there. Plenty of seating for it, but it's one of the cooler bars at the Minnesota State Fair. Like I said, it's just crazy seeing it with no people. Culligan Water Stand. Farmers Union. Building to support farmers. But yeah, glad we got to show you that. It's kind of cool being able to walk around the fairgrounds while it's not going on and see all the stuff. I think that's all we taped for for this first video. That right there, that building is the police station. The Minnesota State Fair's got their own police department that works year-round. And that's the actual police building right there. And there's us, done with our walk, getting back in the car. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Got a little taste of the Minnesota State Fair, and we'll do another
Thank
State
you
Fair video
guys
to get
for
the rest of it in.
watching. At yan po ay part 1 pa lang ng aming video. So, abangan nyo po yung part 2 sa susunod naming video. At thank you pong muli sa inyong panonood. Don't forget to subscribe at pakihit na rin po yung bell button dyan sa baba. Ingat guys! God bless! Bye! Brady say bye-bye!